not Asian, nor African, nor Middle Eastern. But Schlesinger's understanding of our diversity is mistaken, and his fears of our expanding ethnicities are unwarranted. This is what the history of Asian Americans shows so clearly. Their experiences were basically American and reflected a shared commitment to common ideals, revisioning them in ways the Founding Fathers had not intended and would not have approved. They struggled to make our national principles racially more inclusive and therefore distinctly American, no longer purely European. Indeed, the story of Asian Americans is woven into the history of America itself. The Chinese began coming here during the 1849 California gold rush, and my Japanese grandfather sailed across the Pacific in 1886, before the arrival of most Jewish, Italian, Hungarian, and Polish immigrants. Like Oscar Handlin's Uprooted, Asians also belonged to the great migrations that made the American people. Asians were members of what Walt Whitman called the vast, surging, hopeful army of workers who transformed the western deserts into farmlands, built the transcontinental railroad, and toiled in factories from San Francisco to North Adams, Massachusetts. More important, while Asian Americans experienced the victimization of discrimination and exploitation, they also fought against the exclusionisms designed to force them to remain strangers in America. When Thomas Jefferson wrote those powerful words, "All men are created equal," entitled to liberty as an unalienable right, he was not thinking that this would become the creed for a racially diverse America. For Jefferson, the new nation was to be a white republic, and this vision of America's manifest destiny led his fellow policymakers to enact the 1790 Naturalization Law, which restricted naturalized citizenship to whites. Thus, when Asians arrived, they found themselves politically excluded from their adopted country. Facing discrimination, Asian Americans did what Abraham Lincoln wanted all of us to do: recognize America as a nation dedicated to the proposition of equality and pursue the unfinished work of making this ideal a reality. After Congress enacted the Chinese Exclusion Law in 1882, an immigrant angrily scolded the policymakers. "No nation can afford to let go its high ideals," Yan Fo Lee wrote in the North American Review. The founders of the American Republic asserted the principle that all men are created equal and made this fair land a refuge for the world. Its manifest destiny, therefore, is to be the teacher and leader of nations in liberty. Its supremacy should be maintained by good faith and righteous dealing, and not by the display of selfishness and greed. But now, looking at the actions of this generation of Americans in their treatment of other races, who can get rid of the idea that that nation, which Abraham Lincoln said was conceived in liberty, waxed great through oppression, and was really dedicated to the proposition that all men are created to prey on one another? How far this republic has departed from its high ideal and reversed its traditional policy may be seen in the laws passed against the Chinese. While Lee's demands for inclusion and justice were easily dismissed at the time, they could not be forever denied. Protests continued, and a turning point came during World War II. By serving in the U.S. military during World War II, Asian Americans shared what Lincoln called the mystic cords of memory, stretching from battlefields to patriot graves. In a letter written from the battlefront, a Japanese-American soldier explained to his family why he was ready to die for this country. By virtue of the Japanese attack on our nation, we as American citizens of Japanese ancestry have been mercilessly flogged with criticism and accusations, but I'm not going to take it sitting down. I may not be able to come back, but that matters little. My family and friends, they are the ones who will be able to back their arguments with facts. In fact, it is better that we are sent to the front and that a few of us do not return, for the testimony will be stronger in favor of the folks back home. Many Japanese American soldiers